breaking, ex-FBI agent just outed Comey and Clinton cover-up. Look what he received. Cesar Paz was a special agent with the Federal Bureau of Investigation for 22 years. He is intimately familiar with James Comey, his career path, and many of the conflicts of interest Comey had involving the Clintons, Comey's secret finances, and much more. Last week Mr. Paz decided he just could not hold back any longer and he made this video. I'm a retired agent from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, not the Federal Bureau of Matters. Cesar Paz, retired special agent with the FBI. There are many shocking revelations in this video. It appears that former FBI Director James Comey, who President Trump just fired, enriched himself greatly using his government and Clinton connections. This is huge. The crooked liberal media will hide this. Please share with everyone you know as soon as you read the questions below the video. Here is a list of some of Agent Paz's questions for Comey. Please share this when you finish reading. It is urgent that we get this out. Isn't it true that you were an assistant U.S. attorney for a prosecutor between 1996 and 2003? In your official capacity at the Department of Justice, did you investigate and did you clear Bill Clinton of any wrongdoing for extending a presidential pardon to Mark Rich, a fugitive from justice, a fugitive of the United States? Isn't it true that between 2003 and 2005, you held a position with the Office of the Attorney General? Isn't it true that in 2005, you resigned from the Department of Justice and accepted a job as the Senior Vice President with the Office of General Counsel at Lockheed Martin, a company that is a major military contractor? Isn't it true that in 2010, when you were employed with Lockheed Martin, Lockheed won 17 approvals for private contracts with the Department of State while Hillary Clinton was the Secretary of State? Isn't it true that in 2010, while you were employed with Lockheed Martin, Lockheed became a major contributor to the Clinton Foundation and non-profit organizations? Isn't it true that in late 2010, after Lockheed was awarded those contracts by the Hillary Clinton State Department, you stepped down from Lockheed and received a $6 million payout for your services? Isn't it true that in 2013, the largest Bank of England, HSBC, was being investigated by federal authorities for laundering billions of dollars for the Mexican drug cartels, channeling money to the Middle East, specifically Iran, which is in violation of law? Isn't it true that Robert Mueller, former director of the FBI and now the special counsel to investigate the alleged collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia? Isn't it true that Mr. Mueller was the chief counsel at HSBC, the same bank that was laundering money for the cartels? Isn't it true that HSBC was a significant Clinton Foundation contributor? That Bill Clinton was being paid about $200,000 for his speeches at HSBC events? And this is while Mrs. Clinton was the Secretary of State? No conflict of interest there? Isn't it true that HSBC was basically let off the hook with a $1.2 billion fine, which was paid by shareholders, and none of its officers, managers, directors were charged criminally or let go? Isn't it true that while all hell was breaking loose at HSBC, you, Mr. Comey, were appointed as a director and member of the board at HSBC to assist with damage control? Please share this when you finish reading. It is urgent that we get this out. Isn't it true, Mr. Comey, that your salary went from $206,000 in 2002 when you were a government employee, to $33.5 million in 2012? And that you earned these monies while working for entities that were major contributors to the Clintons? Isn't it true that you worked for Bridgewater Associates between 2010 and 2013, and that they are also a major contributor to the Clintons? Isn't it true that you worked for Columbia University in 2013 as a senior research scholar at the School of Law, and that Columbia University is also a major contributor to the Clintons? Isn't it true that you gave this memo that you wrote on bureau time on a classified computer in a bureau car? And you gave this memo to Daniel Richman, your friend, a liberal professor, at Columbia, and he gave this memo to the New York Times? Mr. Comey, You were appointed FBI director by former President Obama in 2013, as Secretary Clinton was leaving the State Department. Isn't it true that you were appointed by Obama as FBI director because you had proven yourself to be of service to the Clintons and their associates and entities that contribute millions of dollars to the Clintons' non-profit organizations? Isn't it true that you, as director of the FBI in 2013, did absolutely nothing in regards to the missing $2 billion from the State Department finances, and this happened while Mrs. Clinton was Secretary of State? Isn't it true that while you were director of the FBI, for over 2 years, nothing happened as a result of the FBI investigations into the Clinton non-profit organizations? If it had not been for the emails that were leaked involving Mrs. Clinton and her associates, all this would be unknown to everyone. But these emails were leaked. And fortunately, the truth is coming out. Isn't it true that Mrs. Clinton and other subjects of the investigation were never advised of their Miranda rights, which is used by FBI agents during interviews? This form was never executed. If you support President Trump, please share this with all your friends on Facebook and Twitter. The crooked liberal media will hide and distort the truth. It's up to us, Trump social media warriors, to get the truth out. If we don't, no one will.